quick, I hope, semi-quick vertical live stream that they've got. Hang on a second. Okay, so I'll see if many of you pop in. This is a new format for me. I'm looking to see, can't even tell how many people are in here, I guess. So anyway, for those of you that come in later, you can watch this later. Obviously, it doesn't have to be a live stream. I just thought I'd put out a quick live stream to let everybody know kind of what's been going on, because I literally haven't put out a full-length regular video in 3 months. The last one I put out, I talked about how you can reach me for consulting, but that wasn't really a regular full-length video. So I see we got one person in here right now. I'm trying out a new little format here on vertical live streaming, and it's just kind of to update everybody on what's been going on. Oh, now it just jumped up to 21. I'm letting everybody know why I haven't put out a video in over 3 months, a full-length regular video. I've got a number of them shot, but here's basically what's been going on. It's back to health stuff, and the latest that set me back is my back's bothered me for quite a while. You know, doing a lot of drywall, all that. It gets to you, and being 62, it's been it's been getting a little bit worse. So the VA scheduled me for an epidural, which was to help help with the pain, basically, because I was having a little bit of a hard time sleeping. Well, the epidural basically backfired, and it made it worse. So now, instead of a pain level of 5 to 7, I experience 24/7 pain of about, the lowest is about 6 and up to close to 9. So they had me come in for another procedure, which is a medial branch block, where they go in and numb the nerves that they think are causing the problem, because they think I basically have a little bit of an impingement in my back, or spinal stenosis. They did an MRI a while back, and they said there were some signs of it, but they weren't real sure. So now they've done this medial branch block, which is where they go in and deaden this section they think is the problem. And if the pain goes down, then they schedule you for a radial ablation, which is commonly known as burning the nerves in your back. So that's what I'm scheduled for next week. I'm sitting here right now resting because I can't sleep again. I'm back to really not getting hardly any sleep, but I'm doing the best I can. Hey, Bumblebess. And Sandra, if anybody has questions, hit me up on email. If it's not too long, I'll try and help you out. And that's guy@thatkiltedguy.com. So that's the next step. Next week I go in for a radial ablation, and they're going to burn the nerves in my back. And I really hope that works, because I've been taking way too many pain pills. I try really hard not to, but like right now, the pain is literally like an 8. It's almost unbearable. It's just, and it's a different kind of pain. You know how when you hurt your back, a lot of times you move wrong and it kind of cramps up or twinges on you, and you get that. Well, this is different. It's more like it's deep in my spine, and it just hurts all the time. It's right at the base, and it's also what's kind of responsible for the restless legs feeling. So what I do for pain is I try to take as few as possible, and I mostly take a combination of naproxen sodium and Tylenol together, because one of them by itself just does nothing. And then I have some leftover opioids of oxycodone and hydrocodone, and I know they're dangerous, so I only take them about 3 to 4 times a week. I just took one because I haven't taken a pain pill in 2 days because I'm also having kidney pain now. And that's usually a result of taking too many pain meds and or not drinking enough and things like that. So I tried to go several days without. So because of all the pain and not being able to sleep, that's one reason I haven't put out videos. But the other reason is um, I we've struggled so much with money. We've been borderline on just going under. I think I've mentioned that a few times. And the reason why is partly because of my health, and because 2 years ago on YouTube we made $80,000. The next year it dropped 10,000, and last year it dropped another 10. So we've dropped 20,000 due to my health, not being able to put out good videos, and due to being hacked by the Russian hackers a year ago. Some of you saw that, where my channel completely disappeared for a week because they hacked it. YouTube took it down, and when it came back, it suffered. So anyway, because of those things, I decided to go back into drywall. I've tried a few times and I could not do it. I was just too exhausted, too weak, and I'm still really struggling with it. But they've got me on a new drug called modafinil or Provigil. It's kind of like a stimulant that doesn't give you the jitters. They give it to fighter pilots who have to fly for like 12 hours to Iraq or something. They give it to people with shift workers, things like that. And it has helped give me back some energy, but when I can't sleep, that doesn't help. So I've been doing a little bit of drywall, but I can only do about 2 days a week, and then I've got to take off for several days and rest. And as far as the email, it is guy at thatkiltedguy.com. And yeah, the pain just absolutely exhausts me. I just barely have enough energy to get through the day. And the jobs I've been taking, I tried to take on some easier jobs, but of course they can't always be that way. And I took on one where I had to skim coat a whole dining room that they hadn't moved into yet and fix repairs throughout the house. And the dining room had this terrible texture on it. I've shot some video of it. I'll try and put that out when I get back to it. Just had this really ugly texture. Some homeowners or a really bad handyman or drywaller tried to do it. Whoever did it did a terrible job on all of it. So I went in and sanded the heck out of it with my power sander. I actually burned up one of them, and I'll tell you about that too, because it's one that was given to me, and I'm going to tell you not to ever buy that one. It was junk. It lasted one time for like 15 minutes, and it smoked and smelled, and I had to go home and get another one of my freebies. I'm going to try and move up to I think it's a Mirka sander, something like that, if I keep doing this. So anyway, I sanded it all, skim coated it, put several coats on it, and did that, and that kicked my butt. It took me about 5 days to get over that a little bit. So I'm still doing it this week. I did a job yesterday that took me less than an hour. I made $180, not because I overcharged them, but it's because I know how to get the job done really fast, really right. And they had tried to do it themselves on one spot and failed, and it looked very noticeable. As I left, I noticed that spot and I fixed it for free, since I'd already charged enough. So I showed them how to fix it right. Tomorrow I've got to go do a job where I fix about 6 cracks, so a fairly simple one. And then on Friday I got to fix 2 cracks on the ceiling for a repeat customer. And these are helping to get us back on track, because we're just pretty much upside down with all the rough times we had for the last 2 years. Let's see, I'm reading some of the comments here. And the other reason we lost the 20,000, I couldn't do hardly any drywall or anything because I was just too exhausted and everything, too much brain fog. And then we just had a rough year, and we had to run up $30,000 in credit card debt, and it's just eating us alive. We're basically robbing from Peter to pay Paul every month. But by doing the drywall here, I'm starting to get ahead inch by inch. So hopefully we can get on top of that. But in the meantime, the other thing that I've been doing is I've been doing some 3D printing. I signed up for a thing called a maker space here in town where they have, for $50 a month, you get access to a complete wood shop, metal shop, and a 3D printing studio, along with a lot more, a t-shirt press and just a bunch of stuff they have in there, some CNC routers, some really cool stuff. So anyway, I got hooked on 3D printing. I decided that's like a fun hobby for me that I can try and make some money. So I got one for $50 a month, and it's already saved me that in by being able to make some of the things myself. Like here's one right here. I designed this. This is to fit on a stack pack out. So the Flex stack pack from Lowe's, and this clips onto the side and allows you to attach things to it like this. Well, I made this to fit mine, and it fits exactly. It clips on perfectly. And I'm going to start marketing these with some accessory holders for different things that Stack Pack doesn't offer. Like I made one for myself to hold a vacuum hose, extendable metal vacuum tube that I've got when I clean up on a job site. It also holds 2 of my mud mixers right off to the side. I'm going to make some of these that hold speed squares and all kinds of other tools, helpful things. So that'll be at tkgcreatives.com. That'll lead you to this store, which I'm just now getting set up. Because I've also been printing things like this right here is to hold spray bottles. So you mount this to the wall, you can drop your spray bottle in there. Only I made it to hold a label up here. Although now I'm making them smooth so you can just stick your label on a piece of tape or something. I got different sizes, different colors. I've also been making just things like this right here is a battery holder. You can see the button cell batteries in there, and it's really pretty handy because if you're like me, we've got a bunch of these button cell batteries around. So this will hold all kinds of different ones. You can reach down here with your finger and pull them out, things like that. My printer's running right now. We got a really messy office, but I'll let you peek over there at it. It's printing right now, printing some bins for my toolbox. But I got a lot of other ideas. Some of them are kind of inventions. Some of them are just sellable things. Like here's another one to hold 9-volt batteries. Because if you know anything about these, if you short those 2 terminals out, you can start a fire. So this protects them, makes them safer. So anyway, that's some of the things I've been doing. And John and Billy, I'm glad it's helped out. That's what I do this channel for. I want to do a lot more in the future to help some of you out, especially I'm going to be, once I get ahead financially, my plan is to help out veterans for one, especially disabled veterans. Like I'm thinking if you got a 40% or higher disability rating through the VA, I'm going to give away like one or 2 or more programs on my Drywall Academy a month to help people out who are already fighting with a disability. And speaking of that, I have filed for VA disability. I've got so many things on there. The list is pretty extensive. I could potentially get close to 100%. I talked to a guy that reviews them yesterday, and he thinks I'm on the right track. It's not something I've ever wanted to do, but health is forcing me to. I'm going to answer a question here too. Let's see. Do I use regular water-based primer like Bullseye on SKIM coat? Yeah. Okay, here's my deal on primer. I think primer can be good in several instances. Like if you're going to do a repair, some people put a bonding primer on the painted surface around the primer so that your mud sticks better. It's not a bad idea. I don't do it. I just sand the painted surface really well, and the mud always sticks. I try and clean it if need be, because you don't want any contaminants on there. Once you have skim coated and sanded, yes, you want to prime, absolutely. You'll see in the job video that I did where I skim coated and sanded, well, it sanded off a ton of paint. And why? Because they didn't prime. They probably used paint plus primer as their base coat, and it just doesn't stick as well and it's not as hard and durable. So it sanded off way too easy. So here's the basic rule. If you're going over just drywall, raw drywall, drywall mud, sheetrock, etc., you can use a PVA primer. It's cheap, it works great, it does the job. But if you're going over something like painted surfaces, stained surfaces, or anything but drywall, you want to use something like the Bullseye 123. The only time I break out an oil-based primer is when I got a really bad problem. Like I had one time where somebody came in and sprayed one of my spray cans of lubricant, like an oily, greasy one, chain lube type. They sprayed it all over a sheet on the wall, and you're not going to put mud over that and not have problems. So you would put oil-based primer over serious stains like that. Sometimes water stains coming through the drywall need a stain blocker. Basically, oil-based to me is mostly for stain blocking. But always prime raw drywall before you paint it. And let's see. And yeah, I'm in Colorado, by the way. I'm in Grand Junction, which is on I-70, 25 miles from Utah. And I'm very careful with medications. I hate pharmaceuticals, but when you hurt as bad as I do, you take them. Because some of you know I also have peripheral neuropathy, which is nerve damage. It causes pain in my feet, which is why you'll see me barefoot in a lot of videos. Because wearing shoes feels like my feet are on fire and there's 10,000 ants stinging at the same time. So I can only wear shoes for a few hours at a time, and then I'm just miserable. So I take a pill for that. It's called Lyrica, and it works. And I also have a patch on my leg that is for my restless legs. And if it lasts for 24 hours, if I go 30 hours with it, or I forget to put it on for, say, 2 days, I will have bad restless legs. So I can't do without some things. I try and get off as much as I can, try and eat healthy, all that stuff. But anyway, speaking of these 3D things, I got a lot more that's going to go on there. Even these little snap-on things here, you can snap them onto a 9-volt battery, or just do the whole case like this, or I got single cases. I'm printing out all this Gridfinity stuff. If you look that up, it's a really cool organizational system to put in my toolbox. We're still trying to recover from the theft last year where they stole about $15,000 worth of tools. I'm still replacing some of those, which is why I don't have a good drywall sander. They stole both of my drywall sanders. So I'm using the freebies that I was given. But I need to get another one. The Porter cable I had was better than any of these that I've used, these freebies. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I have to stretch a lot. In the middle of the night, I sometimes go get in bed and just stretch. That's all I do. I'm not even in bed. I'm in a child's pose. It's a yoga pose. And I'll sit there for like 10-15 minutes, and then I hang over the end of the bed and do a decompression kind of stretch. And I'm sitting on a heating pad right now because it helps. So you can see I got that thing running. And a lot of times when I can't sleep, I get in my truck and drive down here to my shop. That's where I'm sitting right now. This is actually our studio or our workshop that I've had rented for my drywall business for about 8 years now. And I do that partly because the seat heaters in my truck work better than anything, even better than this thing I'm sitting on right now. There's something about it, and I'll drive around town for 20 to 30 minutes to help on the pain thing. So anyway, I'm kind of reinvesting into tools. I just bought the whole Flex stack pack system because they also stole that last year. They got everything that was in it, so I'm setting back up a rolling drywall repair kit, but I'm working out of a little F-150 truck that I bought that has a 5'5" bed and a tonneau cover, so it's really hard to carry everything in there. So I'm trying to minimize, you know, how much space it takes up, get that all set up so I can go back and just keep trying to do this as much as I can, but it exhausts me so much, it really takes away from my ability to even think about YouTube. So you'll probably notice I haven't even been answering comments, which is unlike me, but I've just been too exhausted I just can't. I got to do what's most important, which is trying to get us ahead financially and take care of my health. So after this surgery next week, and it is considered a surgery, hopefully that puts me back on track, reduces the pain some, and I can get back to trying to put out some videos again. But I do have a bunch of new books. I kind of redid my books on my store at That Kilted Guy store.com. If you want to go check those out, the book covers look really great, and I kind of did some revisions on them, so go check those out. That could help us out too. We did reactivate our GoFundMe, but I haven't told you guys about it because I hate to do that. But if you want to say thanks for me helping you with your drywall projects and saving you money, you can find it. And probably just, I don't know. I'll probably put it in the description of this thing later, but it's on there. I don't know if you guys got any other questions. Let me know, whether it's drywall or personal, whatever. I'm holding this phone up, trying this version here, so I probably don't want to hold it up all day, and plus I'm actually feeling like taking a short nap right now. But I thought, since I'm sitting here, I'd try and touch base with you guys and let you know what's been going on and why I've disappeared for 3 months. I hate it, but I got to do what you got to do sometime, and I'll get back to it. So here's another thing that we're working on. I have applied for a home loan through the VA home loan, but our income is going to be really tough with what we made last year. It's going to show like 65,000. So that'll qualify me for a tiny house or an outhouse, is about what it is, because in the area I'm at here in Colorado, and I think most areas, a decent house is 300,000 to 400,000, and I'm willing to do a fixer upper, but they're still in that price range right now. But we're working on it. We've been working on improving our credit. I've also been working on building business credit, because I am going to still pursue a business loan, because we are an LLC. We're fully protected by the LLC if things were to fail, but we're going to try and use that to help build a studio, which is basically a large shop, and turn that into a studio so that I can do all these videos the right way, the way I need to do them, and also to further the Drywall Academy courses. That's why a lot of those are kind of stalled. I just don't have the energy to get back to them, but I do plan to get back to working on those Drywall Academy courses and that real soon. But I really need a studio to do the right in-depth teaching that I want to do. So we're trying to get a business loan, and my business credit is coming up. I didn't even know how to build business credit, didn't even know there was a separate business credit, because I've never even thought about getting a business loan in my life, but I've been studying it for the past month or so, and I think it's an important step, because I'm very overwhelmed right now, trying to do everything that I need to do with this YouTube channel and all the social media and the videos and the book writing and the courses and everything else. It's just too much, and that happens with any business, so it's happening to mine. So I need to hire some help, and then I believe that with help I can grow this channel a lot faster, and it will pay for itself. So if it does fail, I'm going to be protected by a corporate veil because I'm setting it up carefully that way. But anyway, that's just our next step to take this whole YouTube training and that to the next level. Because I do have a lot of ideas for things I want to test and demonstrate. I want to do different videos than what's commonly out there because there's only so many ways we can talk about skim coating and taping, and that, you know, there's a limit. So I try and go into things like testing. I got a whole bunch of things out here already set up. I mixed up drywall mud one day in a bunch of different ways and put tape on the wall, drunk tape. So in other words, I did like all-purpose mud with a little bit of soap in it, all-purpose with a lot of soap in it, all-purpose with some hot mud mixed in, and all these variations. And they've been taped for like 2 months now. So when I get back to having the energy, I'll go out and try and peel them all off and see if any of them don't stick really well because of the additive, and kind of test things like that. So I got a lot of ideas for, you know, in-depth kind of training, teaching videos. So anyway, I'm going to let you guys go. I just thought I'd pop on here and let you know what's going on. And anyway, if you guys have any other questions, like I say, feel free to reach out to me. If I can remember it and get to you, I'll try and answer your questions at thatkiltedguy.com. So I will catch everybody later. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you on the next real video. Take care, everybody.